Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Are you on there?
Hey, are you on mute again?
Uh, yes, I'm still on mute.
Okay, can you take your phone off mute?
Well, it's on, take it off the mic.
Yes, take it off.
Okay, it's off the mic. Hello? Okay. And so, like I said, she's at Conway at UCA for this talk with the Women's Leadership Academy. Like I said, at the intersection of imposter syndrome and the system of white inhumanity. I've got a couple other announcements before we get started this morning. One is that the Whitfield Lavelle exhibit Passages is still showing, still being displayed at the Museum of Fine Arts here in Little Rock. That address is 501 East Ninth Street. Um, when we gave the information out Tuesday about it, we didn't know that the museum was going to be closed on Tuesday and Wednesday. So it is open now. So please go by and see it. You'll be amazed. It's going to be on display until the 14th of January. And there's another black male artist whose name is Chooks. What's a Chooks? It's on display at Pyramid Fine Arts Books and Custom Framing. It's located at 1001 Wright Avenue. So if you get opportunity to go by and see that exhibit. Also, Domino's in the Park was now Domino's in the museum. It would be at the Arkansas Museum of Fine Arts at 501 East Ninth Street in the city of Little Rock. It's on the third floor. So when you go in, you can either take the elevator or you can take the steps up to the third floor. That's going to be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday. And also, a friend of the community a member of our community. Her name is Kiara Thomas. She had her home and her car was destroyed by a fire. And so a GoFundMe page has been set up to help her and her 7 children out. So if you want to know more information about how you can help and how you can give to help Kiara Thomas and her children, give me a call at 501-247-3869 for more information. That's 501-247-3869. And so it's the first workplace show of the new year. And just kind of excited. This year, 2024 is going to be a very interesting year. It is a election year, so that's going to make it even more interesting in how the election of the new president is going to play out. Also, there's the physical session of the Arkansas General Assembly. It's going to be in April. This is where they come together and try to decide about budget, about where money is going to be spent, where money is going to be allocated. Also, will the expanded Medicare be reauthorized? For some people may know it better as the Obamacare. I think here in Arkansas, it went from Arkansas Works to, I forget the new name that they came up with, but this is a program that makes insurance affordable for those who don't have health care. In some instances, you don't have to pay for the healthcare services. One of the problems that has been going on for the past couple of years is so many people have been denied or kicked off these roles for various reasons. So it's been a push, there's been a fight to make sure that people who need the healthcare can get it. So that's going to play out when this physical budget session starts in April. We have to be more involved. We have to be more aware. We have to push our legislators to look out for the quality of life for the people they serve. And so this is going to be a year where we're going to have to be more involved. We're going to have to try to be more present if you can. And I know a lot of people can't go down to the Capitol. A lot of people can't attend a protest or attend an action around these issues. But you can make a phone call, you can do an email, you can call your representative and tell them what you feel needs to be done, what you expect from them to get done. And so it's going to be very important that we move in a way that is going to be helpful to all the citizens of Arkansas. Another thing that needs to be addressed is when you talk about how this money is being spent. There's a big controversy in the legislature right now over the expansion of prisons in Arkansas. That the prison commissioner, the secretary of prisons, kind of balked at prison expansion based on the fact that there's not enough staff members to cover what they already had. There's not enough staff members to adequately look out for not only the inmates that are incarcerated, but also the health and safety of these correctional officers. A lot of correctional officers are leaving because of this, and they want to expand. And a part of that is Governor Sanders' idea that by building more prisons, by incarcerating more people, that it's going to make the streets safer, that the community will be safer. I don't know. I really don't think that's a solution. You can you can lock up as many people as you want. That doesn't stop crime. Locking people up incarcerating people has never, never reduced crime. The idea that, and I talked about this once on one of my shows, that if you can flood the streets with police officers, it still will not deter crime. If the police react to crime, they don't stop crime. And so this idea that if we build more prisons, the only thing it does is, for those of you who remember the movie Field of Dreams, and it said, there's a phrase in there that says, if you build it, they will come. Well, it's the same thing. If you build it, they're going to feel it. And they're going to feel it any way they can. They're going to feel it with injustice in the criminal justice system. They're going to feel it with people who may suffer mental illness. They're going to feel it with juveniles who have made a mistake in some ways, or who have made bad choices. They're going to feel it, and we're going to be on the hook to pay for it, because that's how these prisons operate. That's how the correctional system operates. We feel it, they feel it, we pay for it. So there's a few of the things we need to talk about, need to think about as we go into this new year, as we go into this new physical session, when we go into how this money is spent. Remember, it's your money. It's your money that they're spending, and there should be a voice in how that money is being spent. I forgot to tell you, phone lines are open, 501-433-0088. Phone lines are open, 501-433-0088. So call for your input on some of these issues. Call and let's have a conversation about what it is that we want to see our legislatures do in the coming year. In 2024, what is it that we want to see them do? One thing I would love to see is that we have to move the needle on the minimum wage. Prices aren't going down. Inflation has caught so many people. One of the things that has happened is that during the pandemic, they raised, they gave stimulus money, they gave extended unemployment. They gave, a lot of businesses raised their wages up during the pandemic to have people to incentivize people coming to work, or people coming to working at a certain business. Since the pandemic, as they said, is over, and now a lot of those companies have gone backwards in their wages. And so a lot of people are like, you're paying me this. And and let's face it, if you were used to this extra, because these businesses were getting so much money from the federal government to help offset the higher wages, and now that money has stopped, a lot of businesses are saying, well, let's go back to where we were. So if during the pandemic you got to increase up to $16 an hour. Now you're going back to $11, $12 an hour, and a lot of people are like, hold up, I can't deal with that. And so it's something that's going to have to be talked about. How do we get these wages back up to a living wage that people can actually survive on or make their ends meet? And that's one of the biggest questions that has to be raised as we talk to our legislators, as they start to make these decisions about where this money is spent. Also, you have to remember, this year kicks in where the corporate income tax has been lowered. The top earners, their income tax has been lowered, and there's a push to get rid of the state income tax totally. So that's a lot of money that's not going to be there. We also know there's about $1.5 billion in surplus money. How's that money going to be spent? Who's going to get that money? What it's going to go for? Is it going to go to improvements in the neighborhood? Is it going to go to resources for people? Is it going to address the homeless? population, the homeless issue. Is it going to address the affordable healthcare issue? So those are things that we really have to pay attention to. And like I said, starting out with the show, of course, it's an election year. And it's really interesting that the front runner of the Republican Party, Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, is the front runner with 91. He has 91 criminal indictments against him in multiple states. So he has that to deal with, but he's the front runner. And what makes me think, what if it was anybody else? Would he be the front runner? Would he even be in the race if he was anybody else? And so then you look at on the Democratic side, you had Joe Biden, who a lot of people have felt that he really hasn't done anything. He has, they look at his state of mind, they look at his age, they look at all these factors. And if it comes down to a decision or a choice between the two, there's a fear that because neither one of them nobody wants, it's gonna it's gonna lessen the people who go out and vote. Remember, and when he was elected in 2016, a lot of people didn't go out and vote because they didn't like Hillary, they didn't like him, and so they stayed at home, which opened the door for him to become president. So that's another thing we have to look out for. That's another thing that we have to think about. How do we want this country to go? How do we want our legislators to govern? What are we looking for in an upcoming election? And how it's going to affect you? Whatever decision or whatever choices that's going to be made, how it's going to affect us. We can look at what has happened in the state of Arkansas. The choice was Governor, but because of that choice, look at what we had encountered. Look at what we have seen. In fact, going back to when I was talking about the Department of Corrections, the committee voted, said, okay, we're going to go along with this idea that we can't expand prisons. Then the governor came back and said, you know what, we're gonna add 100 and some beds, and they turned around and said, hold up, you can't do that. And basically she said, yes, I can. They said, well, no, we control this. We constitutionally, by the Arkansas Constitution, we decide that, not you. And so now there's this lawsuit going on, and it's just crazy. When I say it's crazy, it's crazy, and it's going to be even crazier as the year goes on. Phone lines are open 501-433-0088. That's 501-433-0088. Another thing that's still ringing in the news is what's going on with Israel and Hamas. Supposedly, Tuesday, that an airstrike, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. It was, I'm not sure which day. I just caught a glimpse of the report. Caller, you're there.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning, Matt.
Is Denise there?
No, Denise is actually in Conway giving a talk to the Women's Leadership Academy.
To the point that I just want to reference that the government's decision to add more prison is one of the board, the people get the Arkansas National Guard to come in and help the staffing, and she denied that request.
I don't know. I haven't read anything about that. from I don't know. But you bring up an interesting point, Mac, is that she authorized the Arkansas National Guard to go down to the southern border.
You know, every time I go back to with situations like storms, floods, and things like that. National Guard belongs to go to other states and help out that
Yeah,
situation that she used in the I guess
yeah, and I understand that, but in what you said, which makes sense, that if there is such a staff shortage in the prisons, it would make sense that you could authorize the National Guard to go in and help these prisons out. And talking to correctional officers, a lot of them are very uh, weary, very afraid because they're watching more inmates than they're supposed to, which become
I understand that they don't scam enough.
no, they don't.
They can pay more guards, and then that's where they went after have that choice if they face.
Well,
A lot of states is not their chief states. I mean,
well, right now, when you look at it, um, some states her children and with her home and car being destroyed by fire, give me a call. I can give you the link to the GoFundMe page. I want you to have a great rest of your day. Have a great week, and we're looking forward to a great new year. See you later.
This program is underwritten by Digital Business Solutions Incorporated.